Questions?
Frank, what's the feeling like when you're coaching one of these so-called trap games where you know you're better than the other team, but you're just struggling to get anything together? You know, do you feel helpless sometimes in a game like this?
Not really. I mean, every game you have to compete and you have to play at a high level. It doesn't matter your opponent. And this team's got players that have been all-stars and I'm capable of putting together solid basketball on both ends of the court. Just because their overall record doesn't reflect that. So we didn't take them lightly or disrespect our opponent or anything like that. We just had one of those games where we didn't shoot the ball well. We turned it over a little too much, although 11's not a bad number. And you got to play through all that stuff. You got to find ways to win, even when things aren't going your way, and we did that.
Did you feel like there was maybe a casual approach to the game coming off nice wins with another game tomorrow on the road, that type of thing? Or
No, not really. I really don't. I don't think we were lethargic at all. I thought we were in attack mode offensively. We were running the floor. We're getting a lot of good looks, a lot of good looks. I was just telling the coaching staff, if we shot the ball, half as good as we've been shooting it, or what our numbers suggest, we score 120 points tonight, and we're not even talking about it. So, we didn't shoot the ball well, and we did other things to find a way to win.
Paul seemed to have some problems with the officiating, and I guess made a comment on the post-game television interview before leaving the court. Did you think he was getting bad calls?
No comment on the officials.
Your bench has outscored the other team's bench. I don't have any stats, but it seems like most games. And again, tonight you got big performances from the bench, particularly Stuckey and Jordan Hill. Can you just comment on the bench strength so far?
Yeah, we've got a deep team, and this is how we're built. We're not in the past we've sort of been built with 5 clear starters and second-tier players as bench guys. I mean, and Jordan Hill could easily be our starter. Ronnie Stuckey could easily be a starter. We got a lot of guys on the bench that are starter-level guys, and we got a good balance with that.
Jordan Hill has played better and better as we go along here. Does he have skills or things he can contribute that maybe you weren't aware of when you first got him, and are you trying to find ways to get him more involved in the offense?
Not really trying to find more ways. I like the involvement that he has. He makes good plays, in the post at times in the roll game, and is a dominant offensive rebounder. He's making good decisions with pocket passes, and in terms of is he a little better than we thought? Yes, I think he is. I had a high impression of him before he came here, but he's exceeded my expectations.
Frank, this is another game where out of your rotation, you're getting big contributions from 3 or 4 guys. It seems like you don't always know which of those 3 or 4 are gonna. Paul's usually one of them, but other than that, you kind of don't know. In a game like this where you're grinding, do you kind of have to get a feel for who's got it going and adjust what you're doing on the fly?
Yeah, and just 5 guys staying in attack mode, thinking pass. The ball's going to find the open man, and we're going to score at the appropriate level. We got to continue to get better on the defensive end and keep working on that end.
Coach, different interior presence the next 2 games. Do you approach it any differently? Different lineup, perhaps?
We'll see what the starting lineup looks like, but I mean we're big and small both games, in all games. So we'll talk about the starting lineup tomorrow night, but definitely got some big guys that we're going against the next couple games.
Frank, I was looking at the minutes in the first half and noticed that Paul was down the line of minutes. Were you hoping to manage his minutes this game based on what's coming up next?
What I do with him is, I got a 6-minute break for him in the second quarter. And if that group is playing well and I can extend that to, 7, 8, 9 maybe, that just gives me a little bit of a luxury in the fourth, or second half or fourth quarter when I usually get him a break at the start of the fourth. So if I can extend it out a little bit, knowing that we're playing tomorrow, I'll do that. That group was playing well, so we kept them over there a little longer than usual. And, then we got them a break in the fourth as well.
You guys have won like 8 or 9, 9 or 10 at home, I think now. What do you take from the sweep this week, the 3 at home? What do you take out of this?
Just took care of our business. We had to win these games. You got to win your home games, and you got to try to play plus 500 basketball on the road, which we haven't done of late.
I know early, we'll start off 3 losses, and one of them was a bad loss to Utah, I think, here. I mean, you guys seem like you're playing a lot better at home. Like it's just significantly the level of play is raised.
Yeah, we're confident here, and I think we're just playing better overall. We had some poor road performances, but by and large, I think we're learning each other, we're figuring each other out, and we've had some good stability within our rotation. So guys are kind of getting comfortable with what guys are out there with on the court and when, and it's coming around.
One more thing. Is this a bright side game in that you didn't shoot well? Paul didn't have a great game. You still were up 10-12 in the fourth quarter. Is this the kind of game that maybe a team that's not very good and you guys are not very good wins a game like this?
Yeah, that's my message to our guys is nothing was going our way. We were shooting the ball horribly, not just from the three-point line, but missing finishes inside, and some other things weren't really going our way that we tried not to get caught up in, and that's what we talked about at halftime. As we talked about the entire second half, is there's going to be games like that where the ball's not going in. You got to find ways to win in other ways, and in particular with our defensive pressure. And we ended up forcing 12 turnovers, but it was at 4 at halftime, and we wanted to try to get that number up to 15 or more.